Good morning, everyone. Morning. Ah, we can do better than that. Good morning. Good morning. We will start with the program this morning. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Uvyogazi Wabeni, and I represent the ECDC. I'm responsible for investment promotion. So the film sector is one of the sectors that we focus on. So ndingumajola mna uqengeba umphankomo. So happy to meet you all. Let me start by acknowledging some of the guests that we have here today. I'll start with the Honorable Mayor of the Sarabadman District Municipality, Honorable DeFos, the CEO of my organization, the ECDC, Mr. Wakaba, the acting CEO of the NFVF, Dr. Machaba, and all guests, and I welcome you to the second day of the Film Expo. Yesterday we started the Expo. We opened the Expo officially last night. We had a morning program in Joza in the morning at the Joza Youth Club. It was fantastic. The reviews that we got from the delegates and attendees at the Expo yesterday were quite pleased with the speakers as well as the presentations. Thanks to Mr. Neba Mkolomba, who gave us a narration of his journey to being a filmmaker. It was quite insightful, and I think feedback from the students from AU that were with us yesterday was that they would like to get more out of the Expo. But unfortunately, they could not join us today. But I think it's testament to the fact that we need to continue to build on Expo. The second speaker also yesterday, Mr. Luzuko Dilima, also in providing an overview of the industry value chain and his experiences, having walked this journey for many years. For your time and your insights yesterday, as well as providing your reflections during this. Gentlemen. With that being said, I'm going to try not to be a typical program director and monopolize the stage. We don't have much time. We're running quite a tight ship this morning. So most of the time will be allocated to the speakers. And I would like to perhaps, with that being said, invite to officially provide opening remarks the CEO of the ECDC, Mr. Wakaba, on stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sis Fiogazi. Good morning to you all, and a special greeting to Councillor DeForce. I had a very warm discussion with him about the challenges that local government faces. I'm glad, Councillor, I'm not in local government. I do sometimes cancel myself by with him about the challenges that whatever way faces. I'm glad, Councillor, I'm not in local government. I do sometimes cancel myself by with him about the challenges that whatever way faces. I'm glad, Councillor, I'm not in local government. I do sometimes cancel myself by with him about the challenges that whatever way faces. I'm glad, Councillor, I'm not in local government. products we consume. They are the engine of creativity. They make it happen. Of course, broadcasters are key because they are the channel through which what the producers produce reach the audience. But I really want to appreciate the production houses that we have worked with over the years. On Friday at the awards dinner, we shall also officially appreciate these production awards as the Eastern Cape province for the role and contribution that they have played. The SA Culture Observatory, the Cortex Hub, and any other partner I may have omitted to mention. I think you are all welcomed to the Eastern Cape Film Expo. I think I have one or two words to say, encourage you. I think one would be that you are an industry of passion. People who are passionate about what they do, keep on being passionate. You cannot produce any product that is worth consuming unless you infuse that passion. And the second word would be authenticity, that it's always refreshing and empowering when you consume something from an authentic hand. The thing with authenticity is that it's like salt over food. Its flavor is always felt. So when you produce a product and you are true to your values, you're true to self, we always taste it, those of us who would be sitting at the other hand consuming your products. And lastly, forums of this nature are meant to empower, are meant to provide us with information on access to skills development, to finance, access to the market. You meant to meet and build relationships here with the broadcasters, with the producers, with actors, with film producers, and use this opportunity to engage. Don't go home as you came. If you have to go home, let it be that there's value you've harvested from this engagement and that you are better for it moving forward. Thank you to you all, and thank you, Program Director. You are welcome, guys.
And thank you very much, CEO. One thing that I perhaps noticed when I joined about a few months ago, which is about 3 months, was the passion that the organization, which is ECDC, has for the sector. And I think the CEO was also touched on it this morning, how serious we are as government and the different partners that we have to make sure we provide support and we see sustainable growth within the sector. With that being said, in our partners, the Sarah Baartman District Municipality was mentioned, and the support that has been provided by the Honorable Executive Mayor over the last years is truly appreciated. He's here again this morning, and I'd like to invite him to the podium to give us the welcoming remarks. Over to you, Honorable Executive Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I can remember last year when I was here, I said it looks like we are getting cold, or it is the same environment. And I was referring to where I was the day before, which I could not be yesterday because of the by-elections in the Nelson Mandela Bay. And what I see is the same. It looks like this audience, they are very quiet and disciplined. Because last year I can recall it was the same. Let me first apologize. I really would wanted to be here yesterday, but because of other duties, I could not make it to be part of that. Program Director, honored guests, delegates from the film industry, partners, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, protocols which have already been set here, are the very important people in this industry present. Let me say good morning and a very warm welcome. This morning, you used to, it's very cold in Makana. But when I saw the sun this morning, I thought, no, I can wear my shirt only. Because I didn't want to come with a jacket. But I can see the sun is here. It's still cold, but let me welcome you warmly. It is a privilege again to stand before you today at the Eastern Cape Film Expo 2025, hosted here at the Monument, a venue that at this very moment is also alive with the creativity and energy of the National Arts Festival. To all our visitors and delegates, welcome to the Sarah Baartman District Municipality, a region rich in history, culture, and breathtaking landscapes. We are proud that our district has been the location for several films over the last few years, showcasing not only our scenic beauty but also the incredible talent and the potential that exists within our communities. Film is a powerful medium. It tells our stories, preserves our heritage, creates jobs, and drives economic growth. As the Sarah Baartman District Municipality, we are deeply committed to promoting the creative industries as a crucial pillar of our tourism and economic development strategy. For the 2025-26 financial year, we have set aside 7.5 million rand for tourism marketing, promotion and development, which includes significant support for our creative industries. This investment speaks to our belief that the Eastern Cape can and will emerge as a thriving hub for filmmaking and creative excellence. I wish you all a productive and inspiring Expo. May the conversations and connections made here open new doors for market access and take the Eastern Cape film industry to even greater heights. Together, let us ensure that our province booms as a film hub, creating opportunities for all. Let me thank you and enjoy the program, the rest of the program further. Just as something which made me come. It's now, this one is a personal story. That is maybe what made me come here. I was a student of the University of the Western Cape in the years in the 80s, late 80s. Because I wanted to join everything that have to do with politics, freedom and struggle, I found me going to Athlone. And there was, it's in a place where there's a corner there, and they were saying they were wanting writers and poets and so on. I thought, am I at the right place? And we were given tasks to go and write some stuff and so on. I didn't go many afterwards there. But then we established at the university what we called alternative theater, the creative arts drama. Now, I never thought that I can play drama or something. But that urge of wanting to mobilize people, we developed a drama for us. We call it the Kids Constable. 80s. And now I was now canvassed to participate. So we developed this Kids Constable drama, and it was mainly Afrikaans and English, Demokar. And we took a tour. We convinced Jake Skervel. We call it taking UWC to the people. We got a combi of the university. We disconnected the kilometer, the speedometer, because we were taught only to use 1,000 Ks. But the 1,000 Ks, we dealt with it right there in Cape Town before we left. And this thing we practice as we travel in the combi. And we put in and add some stuff and so on. And I was fine to be the first one who must go on the stage. I have never been on the stage. And our first stop was Oudtshoorn. And I had to be, and we were in the theater in Oudtshoorn. I thought, my God, this thing we have just developed here as a way to get out. And when we get into, it was like this. I went and I came back to the team. I said, I'm not going in here. The place is full. It's full to capacity. I said, we are not real actors. I'm not a real actor. What are we going to do? I'm telling you, when we got off that stage, there were a lot of people standing here in front wanting signatures. And we sign and sign. But what happened? The power of that drama we developed, even as we were traveling, started in Oudtshoorn. Every town we left, it was burning. Every place we left, the people were mobilized. And then the police followed us as we go to Naisna and Platte and those areas. We didn't care at that time, because we were young, very young and radical. We didn't care. We openly wrote on that combi, ANC, Viva, and all that stuff. We didn't hide it. But we had this law, NADEL, Lawyers for Human Rights, cards. So when the police pull us off, every time they pull us off, we just show them these NADEL cards and they say, oh, UWC, no, leave them, we don't want to do this. But what I've tried to convey, what that experience told me is the power of this industry and how it can mobilize communities and people and everyone behind a cause. I will never forget when we arrived in Naisna. We were acting in a church because we didn't get to the school. The teacher of the school said, when we talk now, when we sing, because it's particularly Africa, and so on, she said, yeah, you must leave us. We are living from the sea to the mouth. We don't want any politics. We are not politics. And we grabbed two youngsters there at the school. We say, you must bring all these school kids to that drama tonight in the church. And we brought them. We ended the evening late, but we were not even 2 kilometers out of the place, and those youngsters burnt tires there in front of the church. So this is a very industry. Sometimes I still think, can I develop something to convince people to pay for services, perform it on the stage? Let them see why the reason to pay for services. But it's a good way to communicate with people, and I do think there's a lot of possibilities for our youth within this creative industry. I was embarrassed when I was at this university right here. After that, I talked to MEC Mvoko. I said, hey, I'm concerned. I was in a debate before the elections last year. And some youngsters stood up there. When I was wanting to motivate my response by telling the story of us not having bursaries and this thing, and then they stood up there. No, we don't want to hear about the past. You must respond to this thing now. And I wasn't very impressed that young people at the tertiary level say they don't want to hear about the past. But I thought to myself, maybe we should communicate the past in another format. Not in a format like this where we want to preach that it was like that and that and that. Maybe portray it in another way, through this film or drama or something. So I raised it with MEC Mvoko. I say, I'm concerned about the youth. They don't want to hear about the past. Maybe we should find another way to communicate that past in a manner which they are interested in. And I think this is film industry is a good platform to portray that past. Sorry for taking your time, but I just thought to let me share that personal experience and passion that is bringing me here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor. The beauty of being young and naive is that you can do a lot of things and get away with them. But I think the passion is something that, as we grow and become adults, we should not lose along the way. And thank you for those opening remarks. I think without further ado, I'd like us to move then to Dr. Machaba, who will provide us with a word from our partners, the NFVF, which has been a very important stakeholder, along with others that we are working with, in terms of supporting the entire value chain of the film industry in the Eastern Cape, and the dedication to ensure that we are on par with the other provinces in the country has been felt and seen over the last few years. So, Dr. Machaba, the podium is yours. Can we give a round of applause?
Molweni, goeiemorgen, and good morning, honorable guests. Let me pass special greetings to the Executive Mayor, Honorable Dion DeVos, and the CEO of ECDC, Mr. Wakaba. My name is Riranzu Machaba, and I'm the acting CEO of the National Film and Video Foundation, which is an agency of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. And I have been seconded by the Honorable Minister to hold the fort temporarily, excuse me, while the NFVF is in the process of appointing a permanent CEO. Let me take this opportunity to pass the NFVF's sincere condolences to the families, friends, and loved ones of the Mthatha flood victims, especially those who may be from our industry. Our hearts go out to each one affected by this tragedy. The NFVF congratulates the Eastern Cape Development Corporation's board directors and the entire team behind the Eastern Cape Film Expo. Having partnered with the Expo since its establishment in 2022, we are proud to have played a part in its growth and stability as a much-deserving platform in the underserviced province of the Eastern Cape. Your work through the panel discussion sessions, masterclasses, industry engagement opportunities, and screenings of films supported through the Eastern Cape Film Investment Fund has benefited many and continues to bring a positive spotlight to this scenic province. As we take stock as the NFVF of the 3-year partnership with Eastern Cape Film Expo, we acknowledge that while much has been achieved for the film and TV industry in the province, much still needs to be done. The NFVF remains committed to continuing its mission of providing funding for the development, production, marketing, and distribution of films, and the training and development of filmmakers. We pledge to continue being transparent and ethical in all our processes, of course, as our policy demands. Despite the recent developments that I think are in the public domain, the resolve of our staff, with the support of the council and the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, is stronger now more than ever. The CEO of ECDC emphasized the importance of skills development. And still on that note, we have a few open calls published, but I would like to draw your attention towards the ones that are now open, which are the open call for our bursaries. The open call has been running since the 2nd of July. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you. The 2nd of June, 2025, and closes on the 31st of July at 5 p.m., where we are encouraging young, promising practitioners from the Eastern Cape who wish to empower themselves through the power of education to apply for fields of study related to film. All details of the open call are in our website and all social media platforms of the NFVF, your X, Facebook, Instagram, including the LinkedIn account of the NFVF. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate once again the board, the directors, and the entire ECDC, the Eastern Cape Film Expo team, and thank you for a very fruitful partnership. Thank you very much, Inkosi.
Thank you very much, Dr. Machaba, for that. Now we move to a different segment in the program, which is, I think, much more exciting to actually hear from the actual filmmakers as well as producers. We work with quite a number of them, emerging as well as established in the province. But I think we are particularly proud when we see the development and growth over the years of some of them doing quite good work. And as you are aware that the ECDC has the Film Fund, so we've been supporting quite a few, and we would like to invite many others to also do the same, because Mr. Sisanda Hena has been very supportive in terms of providing guidance to us in terms of how we can shape it, the Film Fund, properly and ensure that it responds to the needs of the industry. And he's done quite a lot of work within the province, and he still remains committed and passionate about doing more, not just in filmmaking, but on the skills development front. So he is a powerhouse in the global film industry, an award-winning actor, director, and producer whose talent transcends borders. With a magnetic screen presence and a dedication to authentic storytelling, he has captivated audiences worldwide in productions like the global hit Trackers, the action-packed Rogue, alongside Megan Fox, the critically acclaimed Mnet series Devil's Peak. He is a true visionary. Mr. Hena is also the founder of the Sisanda Hena Films, a boutique production company committed to creating world-class Afrocentric content for the global audience. From his early award status as a celebrated international star, please welcome to the podium Mr. Sisanda Hena, and can we give him a warm round of applause?
Molweni. Mr. CEO, I've got a bit of a kushane today. My wife was trying to warn me and said it's gonna be very, very cold down there. So, but ironically, Honorable Mayor, it's actually a little bit warmer here than Joburg. So, yeah, we thank you for the warmth, Councillor, CEO of the NVF. Okay, before production, once we start, we don't want to stop. So I'm just going to check with my team if the videos are ready on your side. Are they here?
Yes, they're in this one.
Okay, so, how are we going to do this? Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll be able to play. I just want to see. So let me and him just fix so that my presentation can come up. How do we do it?
Which one do you want first? Presentation or videos?
So you know what? Presentation first, and then we can go to videos as well.
Okay, which videos is it? Those 4 videos?
Yes,
Okay, I'll play from up.
thank you. Play the 4 videos. I'll tell you each time. Okay, so tech team will play the videos from up there. I'll do the presentation down here.
Where's your window key? Is this a Mac?
This is a Mac.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what I want to do is. I just want to see if I can see the placeholder of that. Should I press play?
Just start your slideshow.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Okay. My name is Sisanda Hena. It's such a pleasure to be here. I might as well say, I was going to do the protocol actually later, but let's take time to do that. I'm seeing my industry colleagues here. Thank you, Mr. CEO. ECPEC, maybe one of the unsung heroes sometimes. Because, filmmakers, they can post and be very vocal. And sometimes we see criticism on Facebook or X. And CEO, I wanted to say even about NFVF, that today I'm going to share some, what do you call it, success stories in a way. It doesn't mean the agencies are perfect or the industry is perfect, but we should celebrate growth. That's very important. IDC partners, you guys have been running, and we wouldn't be standing here with drama series that are going to play on national broadcast, play in festivals around the world. Had there been, Mayor, not a radical group of leaders who stand on transformation, Black economic empowerment. My early days, I was trained in Cape Town. And Mr. Zonge, when they talk about the numbers of how much investment comes to Cape Town, how many jobs are created in the film industry? Cape Town, Mr. Manyata, that the bulk of that industry today is not as transformed as the other provinces. So, whether you say, the DTIC's budget has been on 900 million or, on 2.3 billion rand, some of it, the companies had not been benefiting the masses of the country. Some of the films have already screened in the United States of America in June. The short film Rear View went to American Black Film Festival, one of 5 selected films from the continent. 3 of the films were screened at the Joburg Film Festival earlier this year. One of the episodes is called Belinda. It won Best Short Film at the Hollywood American Connection Cinema Film Festival. And just last month, they took us to Russia, NFVF. 2 of the films were selected to screen at the Eurasia Film Festival. Come and assist me. Where's my guy who's assisting me here? Is he there? This one. No, not the next video. We're just opening this PDF. Yeah, this one. Okay, please play this one for me. Just this.
Is it a video?
No, it's a PDF.
Video.
Yes, just a few of those pages we're gonna play. Yeah, let's start from the top. Are we on?
Switch.
So, Little Africas has been just confirmed to be the premier, opening night premiere at Fame Week Africa in September. Yeah, that's what is. So we literally opened this email in the morning to say on the first night of MIP Africa. I'm sure ECPAC, you guys have been there. IDC, I think you've been there as well. It's one of the big markets for television and film, Mr. Zonke, that takes place in Cape Town. It's part of MIPCOM, which is in France. So they said they said that Little Africa must come and exhibit there. A red card premiere on the first night, playing the 3 episodes, and then they'll play all 10 of the films in the Fame Shorts Film Festival. Thank you. Let's switch to the other one. Don't go far, you must be here. Where's my... I need to switch back to that one. Where is he? This one. Yes, good. Let's play it. Play it for me. Just to play slides. Play from current slide.
When you can't see.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Oh yes, good, thank you. So, Mr. Zonge, as we just reflect back on what Little Africa has been able to do, it's time to also, even with the market access fund from ECTC, that support to take this product to the festival. Let me give you some of the projections that they've given to us now. So, as they say at Fame Week, with the kind of buyers that will be there, Mr. Zonge, they're estimating sales between 12 million to 30 million with a successful market launch at Fame Week Africa, as they attract buyers from Germany, Great Britain, all across the continent, including the Zambias, Mozambique, Botswana. They're even having Atlanta as a special guest and partner of Fame Week Africa. So ijob yethu ngoku asisaphithi idea bamahali. Siyothengisa ngoku. Yeah. Siyothengisa ngoku so that Dr. Machaba, the people that need to recoup imali ababe investile, we can recoup. Baphelele so that as apply nje siyakwazi ukuthi onani sinikile hayi ke sithengisile ke nansi eyenu sisike sithi siyabulela. But also I think they talk about how to create businesses that become sustainable. Is that as much as Honorable Mayor we can create with passion, uthi Mrs. Zonge, it's a business. And can you sell what you make in the marketplace? And as Ngani Kobi, do you think some of this might sell? And so with that, we thank the partners and we're so grateful because really, if, you know, when you look even at this kind of slide, you are seeing, wait, where am I? When you see all of those logos there, it's because so many entities really did take part to make it happen. And I'm really grateful that, it takes a team, even when you look at all the credits there. But I'm excited now, Mr. Zonga, to do actual business and go into market. And we've also been invited to CANEX, which is part of AfriExim Bank's Inter-Africa Trade Fair, a marketplace which is happening in Algeria, also towards the end of the year, to go and exhibit there and to sell. So, makwenziweni imali filmmakers. Halala. So, as I wrap up, our proposition to the ECDC, to SABC, to ECPAC, and to all the other partners, the municipalities, that it's time that we give this youth filmmaker project to the Eastern Cape. We take the youth, they make their films, 17 are incubated, the top 10 shoot the films, but this one, SABC, Chilizu, you are there, thank you, is ring-fenced for the Eastern Cape. We understand national projects, but until you zero in on the Eastern Cape and make it Eastern Cape's Youth Filmmaker Project, the thing that also helped them, Joy, is that they had this on-the-job training that they did, where they intern on other projects to get ready for their own project, so that what they make doesn't look like a first-timer, but it looks like a professional. It costs money to get the best lenses, to get the best actors, to pay for those locations. And so that's why, Mr. Zong, we said, it must be a business model. Although there's a training aspect to it, it's a business, so that once it goes on to SABC, even with the model now, IDC, we can't without you, because SABC said, you're going to own the rights, we will do a license, and then you can sell it in many places. You could go to Mr. Matlawa in multi-choice, you can go to eVod, and each year you are reselling, or after 2 years when the license is done, you resell it again and again and again. So to the partners, I'm saying, at Sisanda Ena Films, we're saying it's time for us to do the Youth Filmmaker Project, the Eastern Cape Youth Filmmaker Project. Yeah, thank you so much. I wonder if I left anything, if there are any questions. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just want to make sure I've shared everything that needed to be shared and people are answered. Program Director?
Thank you, Nkosi, Sisanda, for that captivating, I think, presentation. Can we clap for him again, ladies and gentlemen? I think we'll have a segment just before lunch for questions and reflections on the presentations, because I think time is not on our side, and I would like to perhaps move and call the next speaker to the podium, Mr. Simon Makwela. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. We met with Mr. Makwela a month or so ago, and when we had a meeting with him, I think we were quite captivated and impressed about his insights into what needs to be happening to make sure, as you say, Mr. Ena, that we create business in film. Too often, film is synonymous with passion, which is fantastic, but we also need to start looking at how we can make money. So Mr. Makwela is a pioneering South African media executive and tech innovator with over 2 decades of industry experience. His career began as an award-winning photographer, earning a Silver Laureate Award in 2005, and has since garnered multiple SAFTA nominations for film and television work, including the film Meet the Hadebes. As the inaugural head of the post-production at Moja Love TV, Simon was part of the team that led the channel's growth from 150,000 to 3.2 million viewers in just 15 months. His portfolio includes work for major broadcasters like the SABC, Mnet, and Honey TV, as well as commercial content for Al Jazeera, the USAID, and various national organizations in South Africa. He's a committed educator. Simon conducts workshops for organizations, including the Gauteng Film Commission and the Publications Board. He speaks at international platforms like the French South African Tech Labs and Enrich in Africa, mentoring entrepreneurs and emerging professionals in storytelling and media relations. As director of Maureen Grace Investments, Simon oversees a diverse portfolio spanning media, entertainment, hospitality, and tech. He also serves as a non-executive director at EdgePoint Software. He holds a BSc in computer science from Midrand Graduate Institute and is pursuing his MBA at the Gordon Institute of Business Science. He's fluent in English and Setswana. He brings a multicultural perspective to his work, embodying the intersection of creative excellence and business acumen in the South African media and technology landscape. Over to you, Mr. Makwela. Oh.
I have a video. Just a video. Yeah. Okay, but I haven't given it to them. It's on this laptop here. Can I just take not the flash, the HDMI? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if it works. Apologies, it's always so hard to speak after Mr. Sisanda Hena. He makes presenting seem so easy, but when you're up here, it's quite nerve-wracking. It's not being okay. Just give me the flash drive. I'll put it in the flash drive. No, I'm just not picking it up. So we'll have to transfer to the stick. Okay, that's fine. That's transferring already. Got videos in it as well? That's one video, but I mean, let me just, because I think it stopped. Yeah, let me just do it again. Wait, can this thing go to YouTube? Not. Because it's taking such a long time. That's connected. YouTube. Yeah, it was played off YouTube. If you can pick up. I mean, let me take the HDMI out here.
And we've got audio as well. We're playing a video.
Before we start, I just want to say, and before I do any introductions as well, it's such an honor to, like I said, it's difficult to speak after Butsisand, because one of the young ladies that was in his video that was part of that youth filmmakers, Kule Mayisa, she ended up being a production manager on a commercial that we shot for the NRCS. I don't know what year that was, but this happened in 2021. She was our production manager. So I think that for me, standing up here and sitting in the audience and watching that video, it's almost like a 360 moment of mentorship, where a young person starts in the industry as an entrant, but then becomes an amazing filmmaker like Kule Mayisa, who is there. And it's possible for each and every one of the individuals in this room. So with that, let me do my greetings, which is to the Honorable Mayor and CEO, to the officials, distinguished colleagues, fellow storytellers, industry leaders, and creative pioneers, all protocols observed. I would like to start with the show and tell, simply because I want to prove a point. And sometimes to prove a point, they call it a proof of concept in our industry, where you have to show someone what is possible and what you can invest in by not only giving them the idea in words, but giving them a practical example of what they can achieve by investing into an ecosystem. While we're waiting for the technical challenges to resolve themselves once again, I'll start with my speech in the meantime. So I'm Simon Letlapa Makwela ka lebitso ke Motswana. I'm based in Gauteng, but I was born in the Northwest, which is where the context of being a South African really comes from. We move around. And each and every one of us, although we want to tell our stories authentically, we want to tell a story of a collective. That is how an economy survives, by being a collective. An economy is not made by individuals, it's made by populations. And collective harmony is what we strive to achieve in this industry. So I'm a filmmaker, as has been mentioned, SAFTA-nominated director, editor, and a producer who's been creating content since 2006. My first documentary aired on SABC 2 back in 2006. It was called Paying Lobola for My Father, which wasn't my father, by the way, but the filmmaker at the time, a man by the name of Mandla Nkuna, his mother never received the honorable duties of his father, and it caused spiritual imbalances in his life. So he had to go on a journey to go and find his father so he can pay lobola for him. So the documentary itself did fairly well. But more than anything, 22 years ago, I held my first camera as a young photographer with dreams bigger than my bank account. Shooting events around Johannesburg and convinced that I understood the power of the visual narrative and thought I knew what transformation looked like. I was very, very wrong. Real transformation doesn't happen with a single frame, a single project, or even a single breakout hit. It happens when you witness an industry reinvent itself. When television channels explode from niche to mainstream, and when post-production workflows evolve from linear tape to tape editing to cloud-based global delivery, and when authentic African stories suddenly command international audiences and billion-rand investments. So I've been inside that transformation as a SAFTA nominated director and the head of a post-production team that delivered 24 hours a week of content that connected with millions. As an entrepreneur that has built tech platforms and democratized commerce. As an investment strategist and now serving on the board of the South African Audiovisual Cluster, and today I want to share what a 22-year front row seat has taught me about the next great transformation and why it's happening right here in the Eastern Cape. In 2003, when I started my journey, South African television lived in a whole different universe. We had only a few channels from SABC, we had Mnet, and we had dreams of international recognition that seemed as distant as Hollywood itself. Content creation required expensive equipment, gatekeeping controlled distribution, and the phrase streaming platform did not exist in any language. I've witnessed this transformation in three fundamental revolutions. The first one being digital democratization, where technology became accessible, and suddenly a filmmaker in a small town, just like Grahamstown, could shoot on equipment that rivaled Johannesburg studios, and post-production moved from exclusive facilities to laptops. The tools of creation were liberated. I'm going to just touch back on something that Dr. Henna said. It is very expensive to shoot on film. On film, you're talking 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter films. That price came down around 2006 because of the invention of a camera called a red camera. And that red camera created what they called the digital negative. You no longer needed a physical celluloid film. But that also created other challenges, because with the film camera you would hear the running of the reel, and you knew that was like, have you seen those guns? They have the Supreme guns and they're shooting money. That's what it sounded like, because that was it. Every single inch of film that went through a camera cost money. Now it's become a lot cheaper to do that, but the problem is people just shoot, and they forget that there's money that goes into that. I'll touch on this in another session where I talk about efficiency, but that's another story for another day. So, when the red camera was invented, it brought the cost of production down. We used to spend around 300,000 Rand for a tape deck, just to have those SABC Betacam tapes that you delivered to. And you had to deliver 3 copies of that, if I remember correctly. You had to deliver 3 copies of that tape. Each tape cost you around 90 or 150 Rand to about 300 Rand a tape, depending if it's a big one or a small one. You had to deliver 3 of those. The machine cost you 300,000 Rand to buy. If you wanted to go and do a transfer, it was 900 and something Rand a transfer. That price came all the way down to almost a zero cost because of democratization of the equipment. Now you can shoot a series on a little Sony A7S camera or a Blackmagic camera that cost you 32,000 to 40,000 Rand, right? But it doesn't change the principles that go into how filmmaking is made, because the process itself is still expensive, but it's now accessible to everybody else. And not only that. The funny story as well is that we used to spend millions on edit suites. An edit suite would be this big, complex, cables everywhere, drives everywhere. This is my edit suite, right here in front of me. And anybody can afford that to become a filmmaker nowadays. Doesn't mean everybody should be a filmmaker. But the technology is accessible. So storytelling became a lot more affordable in the last 20 years or so. So secondly, the content explosion. I've been inside that revolution at every level, leading in post-production teams managing 10 to 30 broadcast assets weekly. Let me tell you a story about Moja Love. Moja Love was a crazy, crazy, crazy adventure for me. When Moja Love started, it disrupted the industry in ways that nobody ever imagined. We started telling stories that had never been told in ways they could never be imagined. It violated every single rule in the industry. I remember the day that we got our first letter from the BCCSA because we had offended somebody. And I think it was yesterday, I think it was Neba's session where they spoke about consent forms. So we had someone in one of the shows that their image came through, their face came through and the face showed, and they took a complaint to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. And instead of us being very, very afraid of saying, oh my God, we've got a complaint from the BCCSA, we could be fined up to 250,000 Rand just for showing this person's face, we celebrated. And we celebrated because at that moment realized that we're actually a real television channel. But it was crazy because we were challenging digital disruption. And it was something that the late Aletta Alberts, rest her soul, was always fighting us for. Why did you guys choose to put a show like Uyajola 99 on air? What the hell is Riazotella? But what Aubrey Dow and his great and creative and innovative mind did was he borrowed concepts that already existed and innovated on them. And the reason why I talk about innovation is that innovation is a key driver of any product that exists in any market. The next version of whatever you do can look or seem like the previous version, only it's better in one way or another. And you can do that with film as well. Touch on that at another time as well. Right, so directing everything from candid camera comedy to heritage documentaries that premiered at international festivals, watching channels explode from modest audiences to millions of viewers when the content formula clicks. We discovered that authentic, local, relevant storytelling doesn't just compete with international content, it demolishes it in local markets. Candid camera is one of those things. I directed a series called Laugh Out Loud. I don't know if anyone remembers Laugh Out Loud. So I was the series director for Laugh Out Loud season 4 and season 3 and 4. Yeah, season 3 and 4. This is back in 2010, somewhere around about there. That was the first time I learned how to direct for comedy. And directing for comedy is no joke. So directing for comedy is no joke. It really isn't, because there's a formula to everything. And the reason why I talk about formula, because filmmaking is not just about telling stories. It's about how you tell that story. There's a formula to how you develop content that makes that content relevant to an audience, but also makes that content have a return on investment. Because you have to know what's going to hit an audience by targeting them, by positioning yourself well so you can target them, right? And then you've got to capture that audience and hold them as long as possible, and as many of them as possible. And there's many examples of this. Is this thing working? Oh, okay. You must stop me then and tell me. I'm just rambling on here. Yeah, okay, perfect. Just leave it there. I'll push play when I'm ready. Yeah, pause. Thank you. So, to target an audience, capture the audience. And now one of the buzzwords that we have is bingeable series. I believe this one is the Black Mirror Amazing Wakanda Forever lookalike is going to be a bingeable series. Why? Because people want to watch it and then watch the next one and then watch the next one. After that, your entire Saturday and Sunday is finished because you want to get to the next episode. right? Or you're worried that you're not going to wake up for work the next morning because you watched too many episodes overnight. It happens all the time. But that's how you capitalize on a good content and marketing strategy that are combined. And lastly, the streaming revolution. Netflix arrived, Showmax emerged, and the entire distribution model imploded and rebuilt itself. Suddenly, a production shot in the Eastern Cape could reach global audiences within hours of completion. But here's what those revolutions really taught us. A geographic advantage is temporary. A content advantage is permanent. Today, South Africa's audiovisual sector stands at what economists call a critical juncture. A moment when multiple forces converge to create unprecedented opportunities alongside an existential risk. Numbers tell an extraordinary story. While MultiChoice alone invests around 7.7 billion annually into local content, that's about 77% of the market's entire 10 billion rand investment. This is just for broadcasters, by the way, not the funding institutions. Be aware. The NFVF develops roughly around 314.9 million, supporting over 150 projects, and the DTIC rebate exceeds 275 million annually. And this gives a rise to amazing opportunities to create content for filmmakers nationally. We're not talking about a sector that invests over 0.2% of South Africa's GDP in storytelling. And that's not just an entertainment budget, that's a cultural infrastructure spending at the scale of national development. But here's the challenge. This investment is dangerously concentrated, and our market concentration index at 6.276, that's well into what competition authorities worldwide would classify as extreme concentration. And for context, that's 62.8% of the way to a complete monopoly. So this happens on two fronts. The first front is that on the funding side, we have challenges, right? I'm not going to talk so much about them because my colleagues are in the room and they'll probably touch on that at a later stage. But we have challenges where we need more outlets. But more outlets require more investment into market demand. We need to create more demand in the market so that we can catch the oversupply. And oversupply, what I mean is that to develop the grassroots filmmaker and to develop the intermediate filmmakers, to create content, where does that content sit if we don't continue to invest and develop platforms locally where that content can reside and that content can be consumed? It's pretty much the same as what ShopRite is doing at the moment in the market by pushing out, I think yesterday I read in the newspaper, 66 new Boxer stores. Why? Because the market exists for those stores, but they're investing in the outlets for their products to exist in the market. That's what we need to do as well, so that we can create outlets for people's content to reside in those outlets. The concentration as well sits in the realms of where the market activities lie. We've got three essential hubs at this point: Johannesburg, Cape Town, and developing market in Durban. Eastern Cape has a massive, massive opportunity to become part of that economy as well. But nationally, we need to start democratizing that as well. But there's a good playing field for Eastern Cape to become that. Which brings us to why you are here, why the Eastern Cape represents single greatest untapped opportunity in South African film and television production. Let me paint a picture without statistics, but with stories waiting to be told. The Eastern Cape is the Eastern Cape is the only region in the world where you can find Africa's Big Seven within a 200-kilometer radius. Elephants, lions, rhinos, buffaloes, leopards. Sorry, that should be Big Five, I'm sorry. In the coastal waters, southern right whales, and great white sharks. So I wasn't wrong, there's two more. Aldo Elephant National Park alone hosts 500 elephants in a malaria-free zone that is accessible by sedan or car from Gqeberha. And it's not just wildlife, it's a diversity of landscape that creates production value. Pristine wild coast beaches that could double for anywhere from Madagascar to the Maldives. The province extends into the greater Karoo region. Those otherworldly landscapes, so striking that Christopher Glass, who was the production manager on The Dark Tower, described filming in the Karoo as almost being on Mars. And the Eastern Cape offers the same dramatic alien beauty alongside coastal paradises and lush indigenous forests. I want to play this video now.
Oh yeah, from you. I hear the wind playing, harmonizing the tune. Look at the stars dancing, dancing for me and you. No matter where we go, as long as I'm here with you, 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 you. We're going far away, far from reality. Told me to sail away across the blue seas. No matter where we go, as long as I'm here with you, 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 you. And for you, I would swim against the wave through the night and through the day. For you, I would sail against the tide through the day and through the night. For you, 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 you. Only for you, 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 you.
Tell me what you would do for me. I would do the same. Lost in the desert.
I would be your rain.
No hesitation, nothing feels the same. This is motivation, love is such a game. We express all the things we struggle to change, but I'm still yours. No matter what you go through, being overcame. No matter what you go through, I'll be your sky. We can escape to a place
We can fly.
you're my heart, you're my soul, just you and I. Tell them everywhere we go, it's do or die.
You can see it's the truth, it's in my eyes.
I can feel it like the moon can feel the tides. You can feel it like the love you feel inside.
I'd do anything for you, so
And L-O-V-E, that's the truth that no one else can see. When it's just you and me, that's the only thing we wanna be. L-O-V-E, that's the truth that no one else can see. When it's just you and me, that's the only thing we wanna be.
and for you, I would swim against the wave through the night and through the day. For you, I would sail against the tide through the day and through the night. For you, 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 you.
Yeah.
Only for you, 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 you.
For you. For you. For you. For you. No matter what you go through, I'll be your sky. We can escape to a place.
We can fly.
You're my heart, you're my soul, just you and I. Tell them everywhere we go, it's do or die.
You can see it's the truth, it's in my eyes.
I can feel it like the moon can feel the tides. You can feel it like the love you feel inside.
I'd do anything for you, so
And L-O-V-E, that's the truth that no one else can see. When it's just you and me, that's the only thing we wanna be. L-O-V-E, that's the truth that no one else can see. When it's just you and me, that's the only thing we wanna be.
I hear the wind playing, harmonizing the tune. Look at the stars dancing, dancing for me and you. No matter where we go, as long as I'm here with you,
Let's go.
We're going far away, far from reality. Told me to sail away across the blue seas.
Let's go.
No matter where we go, as long as I'm here with you, 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 you.
For you.
And for you, I would swim against the wave through the night and through the day. For you, I would sail against the tide through the day and through the night. For you, 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 you,
For you.
you, 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 you. Only for you, 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 you.
For you.
My question is, can you guess where that was shot? Huh? Pardon me? Someone said it. That's Kenton on Sea. That's literally what? Less than 10 kilometers away from here, right? How many? I don't know, I'm not from here, so. 50 Ks? Okay. Still in the province. But it's possible. That could be anywhere in the world. It looks like Miami. It looks like, could be anywhere in the world. So I produced that music video alongside some colleagues of mine, starring Smash Africa, as you saw, but it's directed by the great Vincent Molloy. And we did that in 2018, right here in Kenton on Sea. So the possibilities are there in terms of locations. Okay, so here's where business meets creativity. According to, okay, let me leave that section out. Okay. So I think I'm taking up too much time at this point. But I think more to speak towards the opportunities that lie in the Eastern Cape from an investment perspective, and to look at it as an opportunity, not only for international companies to come and make their productions in South Africa, using local talent and utilizing local crews, and spending international money in the province and in our national economy as well. But to allow for us as filmmakers to also dream about the possibilities of telling global narratives and global stories from the comfort of our own environment and not having to go abroad and taking our skills abroad. We can do it from a local economy perspective. If you take a look at how authentic stories on Netflix from a South African perspective sometimes even outperform international stories as well. Our streaming platform, Showmax, has developed one of the most amazing epic stories of our time, Shaka Ilembe, which has gone internationally. I mean, the other day I was on TikTok, and I saw it has been dubbed into Spanish, it's been dubbed into French, it's been dubbed into other languages. So the idea that I want to convey to you today is, don't stop dreaming about what you can do for the world, not just for South African audiences. You've got to think broader, think outside, so that we can attract more investment into the country, so we can tell our stories outside of the country and let people connect with us in a more authentic way and drive revenue back into our own pockets, not only as filmmakers, because there's nothing worse than a filmmaker. Then, at the end of our lives, you're sitting and you kind of wonder, we saw this person on screen, this person's a great director, but they have nothing to really show for it. Let's change that narrative moving forward. Let's think business, let's think investment, let's think money, let's think economy, let's think growth. And let me leave that there. Thank you very much. Yeah? I'm sorry. I'll bring it down.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Makwela, for that presentation. I think that the video you played at the end there was very captivating. Can we please give him another round of applause? I'm proud to be from the Eastern Cape. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to move to the next segment. We're not doing so well in terms of time, which is the panel discussion, which will be facilitated by Ms. Kobe Ledwaba, who was involved in the production of Gqeberha the Empire, representing Cheza Pictures at the time. So if you could maybe join us then in the panel, Ms. Ledwaba, and she will be introducing the panelists herself. If we can maybe get the roving mics from the ushers to come to the front so that we can assist the facilitator. You can sit there. Thank you. So just an announcement. Yesterday we picked up a gadget. And Monsieur Liko, you're sitting at the front, has the gadget. So if you have the password, then we will know it's your gadget. So you can get it from her. Thank you very much. Over to you, ma'am.
It's theirs. I think it's theirs. Yeah, it is theirs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm missing a chair. So whilst they're going to get me a chair now. Kuningi. Hi, everyone. I'm just trying to make a point that I'm taller than you. Wow, I think what a beautiful and impactful morning this has been. I'm so grateful that I was part of the audience just to take in all the insights that have been shared by everybody today. I would like to welcome and thank everybody, all protocols observed. I don't want to offend anyone. The ECDC in particular, thank you so much for hosting this. I was here last year, and also just to see the testimonials that are coming through since last year to now, to say actually there is work that's been done in the province, and it's very encouraging. I'm facilitating today the panel discussion, and it's called, I will tell you now. It's called Road to Market Access for the Film Industry, an overview of market shifts and untapped potentials. Before we begin, okay, I was introduced. My name is Kobe Ledwaba. I'm a writer, producer, and showrunner. But before I begin to call my panelists, I would just like to basically reiterate what's been, I think, shared not just today, but I think just across the Film Expo, not just this year, but also I think having been here last year. I think the most common, I think, messaging that's coming through is there's a lot of like rooms, maybe in silos, where we're discussing film, but mainly they focused on the creative. And that's a very crucial part of filmmaking, but that's not the end of it. Filmmaking is a business, and I think also as filmmakers, it's to our advantage, it's for our benefit to look at it in such a way. And having said that, he shared a lot of stats now, which were very, I think, eye-opening and empowering, I think, because then they show the opportunities that lie, I think, in the industry. South Africa, the South African film and TV industry, I mean, there's like different stats that fly around. Sometimes we'll say about like 7 billion rands in terms of the country's GDP. the major thing I think that we need to be asking ourselves as filmmakers is how does that pie look like? Like who's who in the zoo, so to speak, right? And I think just from the top of my head, you, sir, you're very good with the stats. You can always jump and correct me. I think if also I may, if I could also just like label it in such a way to say, if you're looking at this pie, we would have what I would call maybe like Hollywood comes to SA slice. That's what he was alluding to in terms of the Cape Town scene. That's what Sisanda was talking about. And that's, as South Africa, we provide like servicing services. It's a service industry where they come in and they use our spaces, maybe local crew, whatever. And I think if I'm not mistaken, that accounts to about 2.5 billion. And then you'll then ask yourself, like, where is the rest of the pie, and who's sharing in the rest of the pie? We will be discussing that. We will be discussing, as filmmakers, this is for you guys. So it doesn't make sense if I'm here and I'm just being academic or whatever, and it's just going over your heads. This session is for you. At the end of the day, you'll also have a chance to ask questions to the panelists. I'm gonna maybe call the panelists to come and join me here. I will start first of all with, we've got Ms. Chilidzi Davana, who's from the SABC. She is currently the acting head at the SABC for Content and Video Entertainment. Ma'am, if you don't mind to come through, let's give her a warm applause. We've got Mr. Tebogo Matlawa, who's the head of scripted content and general entertainment at MultiChoice. We've got Mr. Luzuko Dilima, who's a filmmaker and also from New Brighton Entertainment. We've got Ms. Sivuyisile Giba, who's I know her as a fixer, a producer, and I think soon to be a film festival producer from Sivubuhle Media. So earlier on I was saying that it is said that our industry accounts for about over 7 billion rands annually. So the question here is, what does that money come from? What does it mean for getting your projects made and seen? How do we as filmmakers get a piece of that pie? And how is the ever-changing landscape affecting our chances of getting that piece of the pie? And do these changes provide any new opportunities? And how are the broadcasters adapting to these changes? Maybe then to just open up the panel. Oh, let me go sit. No, I'm fine here. Either way. Okay. I will start the panel by asking perhaps the question to Ms. Davana. What market shifts are the SABC seeing in terms of the audience tastes and commissioning trends? Maybe we should start it there.